Hey my tater tots, welcome back to my channel. In today's video, as you can probably see by the title and the thumbnail, I am going to be doing my long-awaited breast reduction Q&A. I asked you guys to let me know any questions you guys had regarding the subject and my experience. I know a lot of you guys were DMing me and stuff saying that you guys were looking to get the surgery for yourselves, or even if you weren't, just wondering different details about my experience or the procedure in itself. Different questions, different reasons. We're going to get into all of that. I'm not going to talk you guys ears off in the first half of this. Before we get into the questions though, just make sure you give this video a big thumbs up. Make sure you hit that subscribe button and the bell so you never miss when I upload new videos. Make sure you add me on my other socials so you can keep up with me when I'm not here on YouTube. Those will be on the screen, the intro and description. And let's get right into the video. So I actually have all the questions here on my phone. I took them off of Instagram and I am going to be reading them to you guys and answering as thoroughly but as quickly as I can, because again, I don't want to keep you guys here all day, but I do want to be as thorough as possible. So the first question is, how did I start the process? So when I say my times and anything regarding my process and the time length of that, I don't want you guys to get turned off. I don't want you to get scared, because it is gonna sound like a long time, but just because it was a long time for me, I had different hoops and hurdles that I had to go through, but that does not mean that that is the process for everyone. So just keep that in mind. But I did start my process in about, I wanna say October of 2019. I know, it sounds like a long time ago, but just bear with me. I first got my referral in October of 2019. If you don't know, that's part of the process of getting a breast reduction. Unless you're gonna come out of pocket for it, there's a little bit of a process you have to do. I had been telling my primary care physician for pretty much a few years, probably about my early years of high school. I started high school back in like 2016-ish. So I would say like my early years of high school, I started letting them know that, like, y'all, my back is hurting, the back of my neck is hurting, these things is heavy on me. I was just letting them all know all my different complaints, how they were hindering my day-to-day, you know, things I was doing in my day-to-day. I was letting them know basically all of that. And if you have disproportionately large breasts, you probably know all the different complaints I had. I don't even have to go through all of them. But basically, I was just letting them know all of my complaints, and I kind of built up a track record of that. And of course, when you first come in and tell them things like that, they're gonna tell you, you know, try doing this, try doing that, kind of like over the counter or like at home remedies, so to say, or like quick fixes. Put a heating pad on, try to soak in a warm bath, or, you know, take some Tylenol or things like that. They're gonna try to get you to do, you know, the minor things first and see if that helps it. And if it doesn't, then, you know, they look into something a little bit more long-term. I went to the doctor in October of 2019, and I basically went in like I always do at the doctor. And mind you, I was going to the doctor for different things, not solely for this reason, just like my regular doctor visits. But I did let my PCP know that, like, hey, remember I was telling y'all about how my back and my neck and all of that was hurting? Yeah, that's still going on. I basically let them know again. And this time she took a look over my record and everything else, all of my other medical charts, and she was like, yeah, girl, I'm gonna write you a referral to the breast surgeon. Obviously, I can't do anything about it because that's, you know, a little bit above me, but I can write you a referral to someone who can. So I got my referral then. I had my initial consultation in February of 2020. Keep in mind, at this time, no, I still did not have an approval, but this was a consultation where they were kind of letting me know different things I could expect with the surgery if I were to move forward with it and be approved, what to expect, healing, recovery, what actually goes into the procedure, all of that. They took my before pictures, all that other stuff. I kind of got pretty much all the details to the surgery at my first consultation. Now keep in mind, this is where I was saying don't let my time frame throw you off, because like I said, I had my consultation in February of 2020, and unless you've been living under a rock, you guys know what started happening around early 2020. Yeah, the big pandemic and everything. So that threw a lot of things off, especially all things medical related. So my reduction and my whole procedure kind of just got pushed on the back burner, like almost immediately. Like I had just started my process and it just got pushed to the back burner almost instantly. I really didn't hear much else because like I said, as you guys know, that whole thing kind of went on for at least a few years before it really got back to normal. I actually reached back out to them in February of 2022 of February. So about 2 years had passed since I got my initial consultation. I basically just called her on the number that was on my paperwork and I said, hey, I had a consultation about a few years ago, back in 2020, and nothing really came of that because of the whole pandemic and everything. So I was just following up to see how do I get my process started back up. And she basically let me know, okay, do this, do that. She scheduled me an appointment. And I basically just had to come in and redo the consultation just because everything was so outdated by that time. They wanted to make sure everything was still up to date. Like I said, 2 years had passed. So yeah, I came back in March of 2022. And I basically did the whole first consultation over, took new pictures, got all the same details. It was pretty much just a repeat. Then in April, I got the call back and they let me know that I had been approved. And when I tell y'all, literally, I could have screamed into the receiver. I kid you not. Like, I was so happy. I was originally scheduled for my surgery in May, and then some stuff started happening with my surgeon and all this other stuff. So a lot of the scheduled appointments got pushed back and I ended up getting pushed all the way from May to August. Yeah, I was a little upset about that, but it ended up all working out, and you know, we'll get into that a little later. But I ended up getting moved to August. I did end up having the surgery in August, and that was my process of getting started. What was the time length from your initial consultation to the actual surgery date? So I pretty much just went through that. My initial consultation, I'm not gonna count the 2021 because of the pandemic. If we count that consultation I had in March of 2022, I got approved in April and I had the surgery what would have been in May, but ended up being August. It was a lot of things that, you know, pushed mine back specifically, but that had nothing to do with the overall process in itself. So if everything would have went correctly and smoothly, it would have been March consultation, surgery in May. So it would have been a 2-month span. What made me get a reduction? I had a few reasons for getting my reduction. The biggest reason I decided to get it is because, simply put, my breasts were just disproportionately large to the rest of my body. I had points where I had went from my highest weight down to my lowest weight. I had lost naturally by myself 15-20 pounds and was still the same bra size. Was going down in every other size. So it wasn't a weight thing. It was, I just have excess breast tissue that needed to be removed. It was interfering with my day-to-day life, and obviously I'm a fashion influencer. Like, I want to wear certain stuff and I just like to get dressed up. I want to wear certain stuff. I had a few reasons, but those were some of the main ones. But the main one being they were just disproportionate to the rest of my body. So the next question is, what size were you and what size did you go down to? So before, I was a 32 triple D. Yeah. And right now I am a 32C. So what's that, about 3 cup sizes I went down? Double D, D, C, yep, 3 cup sizes I went down. What kind of cuts did you get? Will the scars be permanent? So that's kind of 2 questions in one. For one, the incisions I have are the anchor. If you know anything about any type of breast surgery, you know the 2 main types of incisions. The lollipop incisions goes around and down. The anchor incision goes around, down, and under. I have the anchor incision. And will the scars be permanent? Yes, all surgical scars are permanent. If somebody cuts your body open, it's gonna leave a scar. Now, how visible your scars are once they're all healed is gonna vary from person to person, but there will always be a scar there. How was the recovery for you? Recovery was actually a lot better than what I thought it would be. I didn't think it would be like anything so horrible or like really bad, but I didn't expect it to go as smoothly as it went. Like, when I say my recovery process was smooth, it was smooth. I literally have just about 0 complaints. I remember for the most part being comfortable. I don't remember being ever been in excruciating pain. I had my painful moments, but it was nothing that, you know, I didn't get under control. It's not a bunch that I recommend for recovery process, but I definitely recommend getting you a back pillow, because if you don't know, I'll insert a picture or whatever, but if you don't know, once you get a breast reduction, you have to sleep on your back for at least the first 6 weeks. You can lay completely flat on your back, or you can lay elevated. I chose to lay elevated because I just cannot sleep flat on my back. But yeah, you can sleep on your side or on your stomach, which I'm used to doing. So that back pillow really helped me out, and it didn't even seem as bad, like just laying elevated, because I still felt kind of back, you know, it wasn't as bad as I thought it would be. How long is the healing process? So I guess it depends on what part of the process you're referring to, because I mean, you're gonna heal in stages. It only took me about a week before I could go back to, you know, my daily, you know, everyday type of things. Of course, no strenuous activity, not working out or anything, you know, not pushing, pulling, lifting, anything like that. But aside from those things, as far as like driving or just walking or, you know, doing simple day-to-day tasks, I could do that after about a week. Probably a little less than, probably like 5-6 days, if we're being completely honest, for me at least. As far as getting back into being active and working out, pushing, pulling, lifting, things like that, that took about 6 weeks. It took about 12 weeks after my surgery for me to be able to go back to wearing wired bras. And yeah, like I said, it's kind of like in stages. So it depends on what you're looking to do and what you are considering I'm healed is gonna vary. Because if you mean just doing your regular stuff, 5, 6, maybe 7 days. If you talk about working out, 6 weeks, it's gonna be a little different depending on what you're actually referring to. Pain level 1 through 10, I would say my first day out was like a 6. It wasn't bad at all. I did take my painkillers first day out, and of course, first day out, you still have, you know, residual anesthesia in your body, so you're probably not even at your fullest, you know, so that does take a little bit of the pain away. And it wasn't even a pain, I should, you know, make note of. It was just more of, in my chest area, just a very tight feeling, very tight and very sore. That's what I was feeling. And even that, like I said, at the worst, I would put it at like a 6. Like day 2 to day 4, I would put that at like a 3. Once my painkillers did start to like wear off, I would take a new dosage. I wasn't on anything strong or anything crazy, and I was just taking the doses recommended. I was prescribed Norco. Yeah, I would take that. I took that for maybe like the first 4 days, and after that I was cool. Like the pain was not bad for me, like at all. Somebody said, did you ever get a BBL? If yes, was the pain in a similar range? No, I've never had a BBL. But serious question. I know this is a little off topic. We came to talk about breasts, but do I give y'all BBL? Like, that's a serious question, because I thought I was like, you know, I thought I had a little natural look to me. So to think that there's people that really think I got a BBL, like, that's kind of fascinating. When can you stop wearing a compression bra? So the bra that they give you immediately after surgery, you have to wear that for the first 6 weeks. It's honestly not as bad as it sounds, and it's honestly not, at least the bra I had, it really wasn't that uncomfortable. 9 times out of 10, your swelling hasn't even gone all the way down in the first 6 weeks. So, you know, they kind of just like sit by themselves anyway. This is really no discomfort, at least from my experience. From 6 to 12 weeks, you can wear a different bra of your choice as long as it does not have wires. You can't wear underwires again until after the 12-week mark. How long does it take them to fully heal? This is kind of like what I was saying earlier about, it depends on what you are considering healed, because some people, they feel like, you know, as long as I can get up and move around again, I'm healed, which is, you know, not fully true, but in their definition of healed. So if you're looking to just be up and moving around again, doing your day-to-days, probably within the first week. If you're looking to do strenuous activities, probably gonna take you the first 6 weeks. After 6 weeks, if you're looking to be completely healed, no more scar therapy, no more, you know, doctor's appointments, that's about a 12 to 18 month process. After the first 3 months though, there's really nothing to expect between the 3 month and the 12 or 18 month. aside from your scars, like scar healing, scar therapy, that's kind of like its own thing, because that's like the only thing going on still after the 3rd month. Did you lose sensitivity of your breasts? Now, this is something I was actually, I won't say I was worried about it, but I was definitely just hoping and praying to God that everything worked out perfectly and that I did not lose sensitivity. And you know what's so crazy is because I did a lot of research about this and I looked at a lot of different people's experiences prior to getting mine. And I heard a lot of people say that, yes, I lost my sensitivity either on the breast or or there were some people saying, no, I didn't lose my sensitivity, I was good. But I never heard anybody talk about having increased sensitivity. And while my sensitivity was regular, you know, on my breast, my sensitivity, when I tell y'all, it shocked me, because I remember, I will never forget when I took my very first shower after having the surgery. I took the bra off and I took all the padding out and everything. And I remember when I took because the padding was kind of like stuck to me from all the tape and stuff. So I like went to pull the padding off, but a little bit of my is exposed. And I'm like, I just felt like this tingle. I'm like, but it was just like so sensitive. And I'm like, whoa, like that really caught me off guard. I was expecting this thing to be numb or at least just be regular. I was not expecting that. I didn't even want to like pat myself by accident because I would just lose it. It eventually went back down to normal. It's not like that anymore. I'm not sure if that's happened to other people after surgery, but it definitely happened to me. Do you remember how long it took? If I'm not mistaken, please do your own research on this just in case I'm like misquoting what these people told me. I'm like 99% sure that I was told that the procedure in itself usually takes anywhere between 3 to 5 hours. I want to say that was the time frame they gave me. I know for a fact mine, I went in for surgery at about 7 a.m. and I got out around like a little bit after like 11-ish. So mine was about like 4-ish hours. Do you lose feeling in your... It's a 50-50 chance. That's something that they definitely emphasize to you when getting any type of breast surgery. They definitely let you know, we cannot guarantee you your sensitivity afterwards. It's a chance. It's like 50-50. It just depends. Your surgery can go completely perfect and there's a chance that, you know, your nerves just may not recover from, you know, being tampered with or whatever. So it's a 50-50 chance. You may still have it, you may not. Or if, God forbid, you have a surgeon that like, you know, does something incorrectly and it damages your nerves, you know, that can also cause loss of sensitivity. But it's 50-50. I was so happy to still have my sensitivity because I was definitely worried, like, oh, please, Lord, let me be able to keep it. How's the scarring? Scarring is gonna vary from person to person, just depending on how your body heals, as well as how well you take care of your scars afterwards. For me personally, my scars are doing amazing. They definitely look way different from how they looked when I first removed my surgical tape at 6 weeks. And like I said, right now I am 5 months post-op. It is about a 12 to 18 month healing process for your scars. So I do still have a lot of healing to do, but I think from where I started versus where I'm at now, I think I'm doing pretty good. Is a lift included in the reduction procedure? Yes, you are gonna get a lift. I wouldn't advise you to like go into this thing expecting like a implant type of lift look, because it's not going to be like that unless you choose to get implants with your reduction. Simply put, they're going to cut you open, take out whatever they need to take out, and when they close you back up, they are going to lift the skin up as they close you. So it is going to give you a slight lift. I don't know if you guys can tell too well on me. I just dropped my phone, but this is kind of where I'm at. I do have a bra on, obviously, but you know, it's not a crazy lift. Obviously, it's not giving like implant or anything, but I do have a little lift. They're definitely sitting higher than what they used to, so they do give you a lift. Price, if you don't want to share, no worries. And did your insurance pay for any of it? So again, that's 2 questions in one. The price of it obviously is going to vary on a lot of different things. Who your surgeon is, however much is reduced from your breast, if you're getting any other procedures done at the same time, any medications you may need afterwards. Where you live, simply where you live, is going to determine what the range is for how much you pay. A lot of different things go into your price. On the lowest end, I've seen people do the surgery in itself, just the surgery, for about roughly $5,000-ish, give or take, and I've seen it go upwards of $20,000. So like I said, that's a pretty big gap in price. So it depends on a lot of different things. And as far as did my insurance pay for any of it, baby, my insurance paid for all of it. I didn't pay them people a single dime because my insurance did it for me, as they should. Were you scared? Was I scared? No. Did I have my, you know, temporary worries about what may go wrong? Yes. Ultimately, and I think this is the main reason why I would say I was not scared, ultimately I had very strong faith that everything will work out exactly the way it was supposed to, possibly even better than what I was expecting, and it did. Simply put, it did. Everything worked out exactly the way it was supposed to. Everything is going to continue to work out the way it was supposed to, the way it is supposed to. And yeah. Can you breastfeed after the breast reduction? Now, this is also something that I was a teensy bit about that much worried about. That's also like a 50-50 thing. Like, a doctor can't guarantee you that yes, you will be able to breastfeed after this surgery. They do their absolute best, and that's what they tell you. We will do our best to boost your chances, so to say, of being able to still breastfeed after this procedure, but there's no way they can guarantee you, because again, there's no way they can guarantee that your nerves are going to be able, to continue to function in that way that they are naturally made out to function. Obviously, I'm still not sure if I'm able to because I haven't tried it. How long did the pain last? Like I said before, my pain experience wasn't bad at all. First day out was probably the worst, and even that I would rate it like a 7, probably a 6, probably closer to a 6. The Norco worked fine for me. It was more than enough, and even that, I only felt the need to take that for maybe like the first 4, maybe 5 days. Yeah, it wasn't bad. And as the days went on, especially in that first 5-day span, as the days went on, the pain lessened and lessened. It was not bad at all. It definitely wasn't painful. When were you able to wet your incisions in the shower? Now, I'm not sure if this is the same for everybody that gets a breast reduction, but for myself personally, my surgeon had surgical tape around my incisions, so around, down, and under. I was not allowed to remove the tape until after the 6-week mark had passed. And I know that seems like a long time to keep tape on your body, but of course they use some high medical grade type of tape. It's not going nowhere. Unless you intentionally pull it off, it's not going nowhere. Not even when water hits it. When I would take a shower, I would shower for like those first 6-ish weeks. I would shower with my back facing the water, just so that I didn't have that water pounding down on my chest that was already super sensitive. If your procedure goes anything like mine and you have that surgical tape on for the first 6 weeks, even if you get that tape wet, it's not gonna go anywhere, and your incisions in themselves are not gonna get wet. If anything, it's just gonna wet the tape. So you really don't have to worry about that. Now, if it's done differently, I'm not sure how that works, but if you have that tape for the first 6 weeks, it's not going nowhere, even in the shower. Have you started scar treatment yet? Yes, I have started my scar treatment. I started that about somewhere between 6 to 8 weeks after my surgery, but I just use Mederma. It's over the counter. You can just go into any drugstore and pick that up, and I just apply that onto my scars every single day, at least once a day. You can do twice, but at least once a day, and that has been working wonders for me. How would you rate the overall experience? I would rate the experience a solid 9 out of 10, and the only reason I'm not gonna give it a full 10 out of 10 is because there are some painful moments. I'm not gonna paint it out to be this glamorous thing, because there are some painful moments, and there are a few minor setbacks. Like for the first 6 weeks or so, you can't be that active, you can't lift, you do miss out on a few things in your first 6 weeks. It's definitely not horrible, but there are some things to consider. 6 weeks is, as we know, that's not a long time, but when you're waiting on it to pass, it might seem like a little bit longer than what it is. Do I regret it? Absolutely not. Do I feel more confident? I would say that the surgery gave me just a smidget more, about that much more confidence. Not anything excessive, but it gave me a tad bit more, just trying on things that I wasn't able to wear before and just being like, yeah, I can wear this now. Are you happy with your results? Yes, I am very happy with my results. So that is all I have for this video today, you guys. I really hope you enjoyed it. If you did, please be sure to give this video a big thumbs up. Once again, leave your comments down below and let me know any additional questions, comments, etc. you all may have. Be sure to add me on my other socials. They'll be back on the screen, the intro and description. Thank you guys once again for watching, and I'll see y'all in my next one.